Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things which motivated me to recover from my eating disorder. So the point of this video, I'm going to be sharing my motivations for recovery, and I've actually made a list beforehand just as a little bit of prep for this video, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. I do have the window open, so if you can hear any sort of weird noises like a car going past, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's what it is, but it's very, very warm in here and quite stuffy, so have to have the window open, I'm afraid. So yeah, the first thing I've got on my list, one of my main motivations for recovery is 2 fingers up to the people who laughed at my eating disorder. So a bit of a screw you, really, and it's been very unfortunate, I think, but unavoidable, really. There have been people in my life which haven't understood or accepted my eating disorder, and people who have laughed at it or thought it was something to trivialise or just make light of, which hopefully most sensible people will know it's really not something to laugh at. I mean, that was my life for 10 years and I lived through that, so don't joke about it. Yeah. Those of you who've watched my videos for a while will know I was actually bullied quite badly in secondary school, and I've also had experiences outside of school where I've been bullied in relationships and in other circumstances. So really, recovery was just a bit of a, do you know what? Screw you, your opinion doesn't matter, you are inconsequential to my life, and I'm going to rise above it, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm only going to keep rising, and I'm going to be awesome. Oh, this is kind of related to my last point, but to prove that a bad childhood doesn't have to affect your whole life. So yeah, as I was saying before, my childhood wasn't that great. I don't really want to go into it because I feel it's not particularly fair. But I guess I'm living proof that having difficulties in your childhood doesn't have to affect your whole life. Okay, so the next thing is a major motivation for me, and that's eating out at restaurants. Even 3 years ago, it would have been absolutely inconceivable for me to go to a restaurant, sit down and eat a meal. Maybe possibly if it was a restaurant I'd been to before, and I knew exactly what was on the menu and what I was kind of getting myself into, that may have happened, but I would still be very, very anxious throughout the whole thing, and I wouldn't enjoy it. I think you go out to a restaurant to socialise and have fun and enjoy yourself, and to me it was a chore having to go for a family meal or, you know, go to a birthday meal or something like that. It was something I never ever really wanted to do. Whereas now, like, I jump at the chance. Wow, that was a very loud lorry. So before I would go to restaurants, I would be totally obsessive about doing my research beforehand. So I would go online, see if they had a menu online. If they did, then great, I potentially could go to that restaurant. If not, then it was absolutely out of the question, because who knows what kind of food they would have, and I might not be able to work out the calories quick enough in those, you know, maybe 10-20 minutes you've got to order before you start looking weird. So I would have to kind of research everything and plan in advance what I was going to eat, and it was just like this whole military operation that I just wanted to get over with as quickly as possible. Again, my next point kind of ties in with that. Freedom. Freedom is a massive thing for me, because having an eating disorder will take over your life completely. Your whole life becomes about your eating disorder and these rules which you set for yourself. And it's really hard to kind of explain why you have to stick to these rules, but you just do. It's like you just have to. It's like a matter of life and death. It's like it's inconceivable that you won't kind of obey those rules which you set down for yourself. So, for example, for me, it'll be absolutely out of the question for me to eat more than 300 calories a day at one point in my life. Absolutely out of the question. I mean, now I'd probably eat that in one sandwich, potentially. And that's all I was eating, like, in a day. So it's no wonder that I lost so much weight, to be honest. For example, today I met my boyfriend for lunch in the city. We hadn't really planned this. I think he sent me a text about an hour beforehand saying did I want to meet him for lunch, and obviously I said yes because it's nice to spend time with a boyfriend. And it didn't even occur to me to sort of say where we're going to eat, what we're going to do. Can you give me a detailed plan of this so I can work out the calories beforehand? And actually, I didn't realise this until I sat down to film this video. It didn't even occur to me, like, holy crap, I'm eating in public. Didn't even cross my mind. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I still had my eating disorder. Just sitting out, even with someone else, sitting out in public eating would have been honestly terrifying. Like, I would get really anxious, I would get really like sweaty and gross, and I'd have that real like fight or flight kind of feeling. Like, I feel the adrenaline and like I get all sweaty palms and my heart would be racing, and I probably would not be able to bring myself to eat. The only time I could actually eat in public when I had my eating disorder was if I was in my car, like parked in my car, not driving obviously, that would be irresponsible. If I was parked in my car in a car park and there wasn't anyone else around, that was really the only time, and even then it would be like really, really quick, so I just wolfed my food down. When I was at college, I used to do that quite a lot. Like, rather than sit and have lunch with everyone else, I would buy food and go and sit in my car. Right, I save so much money on clothes now because buying new clothes to fit your body as you gain weight or lose weight is just a massive pain in the arse, because you'll buy something in, say, I don't know, a size 8, and then like 2 weeks later it won't fit you and it'll just be ridiculous, and you're like, why did I even bother? Why did I even bother? I may as well have got £30 or whatever and just flush it down the loo. Really? So yeah, and the really great thing is I can buy clothes. This sounds crazy to me, even saying it, that this was such an issue in my life, really. But I'm so pleased now that I can buy clothes and buy something one year and it'll fit me the next year. For example, this top that I'm wearing now, I love this top. It's actually, sorry for the excessive boobage there, but I can't really show you it, really. This little vest top that I'm wearing is from Jack Wills, and I got it about 1.5 years ago, so last spring, and I'm still the same size. I'm wearing the same top as I was last summer, and it's really great because it means every season I don't have to buy clothes to fit whatever size I happen to be at that time. Again, on the topic of saving money, I save so much money on food now. I used to spend a ridiculous amount of money just going to Tesco, my beloved Tesco, going to Tesco, buying loads of food for a binge, or I don't know, like if you restrict yourself for so long, even if you're not going to binge on that food, you would just buy like loads of rubbish. It's really bizarre. If you eat, pretty much my whole diet consisted of various yellow foods, so things like crackers, and you can get like Ribena cracker bread stuff, popcorn. Sometimes I'd have like a packet of crisps if I was feeling really fancy, push the boat out a bit, but pretty much my whole diet was various yellow food, because that's pretty much all I thought was safe. Yellow food and fruit. My life was so fun. I would have these urges to just go to the supermarket and I'd buy all the stuff that I wanted. So I'd buy, like, not even things like chocolate and sweets, but I'd buy sandwiches and baguettes and bread. Bread was a big thing for me, actually, that I sort of restricted myself. So when I went to the supermarket, I would obviously just buy loads and loads of bread. Yeah. So I would spend so much money on food that either I would have a massive binge on, so then I'd be in pain because my stomach would be swollen and it would just be overloaded with food. If you go back in my videos, there are plenty of videos, I'm sure, where I'm complaining that I've done this very thing. Or it'll be food which I eat and then immediately try to purge. So either the typical thing which you think of when you think of purging, or I would be in the gym as soon as my massive pregnancy belly of food, my food baby, if you will, had disappeared. I would be in that gym burning it off for hours and hours and hours. Or I would not even eat the food, which is kind of even worse. I just throw it in the bin, which is just ridiculous. Education as well was a massive, I keep clapping when I say these things. Education as well was a massive motivational thing for me, because my school life was disrupted a lot by my eating disorder. I suffered all the way through my secondary school. I developed an eating disorder when I was 11, which obviously coincided with me entering secondary school, and I had it all the way until I left school, which was actually during my first year of A-levels, because at that point I actually got too ill to carry on with school. But throughout those years where I was at school, so let's say my GCSE years, my GCSEs are always marred by my eating disorder. I didn't do badly. I did quite well considering, but my heart wasn't in it. I didn't put in any effort whatsoever because my whole life was consumed by my eating disorder, and it makes me really sad because I know I had the potential to do a lot better than I did, but I couldn't because of just the situation I was in. But on the other hand, I do feel like I shouldn't complain too much because I did do well in my GCSEs, and it is a regret of mine that I didn't stay on to do A-levels, because I know I would have done well in them had I not been ill at the time. But to leave sixth form was the right decision for me. But then after that, because I had this period of about 9 or so months where I was actually out of education altogether, and my life was just hospital visits and doctors and meal plans and all the sorts of fun things. So yeah, after that I had this real great motivation to do stuff with my life rather, and to get myself back into education, which I did. I went back to college and did performing arts for 2 years, which was an awesome decision because it was 2 years of me doing what I loved, which is what I needed at the time when I was trying to recover from my terrible eating disorder. So yeah, my life has changed beyond recognition in the past 3 years. I started YouTube when I was 19, and that really marked the start of my kind of recovery, I guess, which was a real up and down journey. And if you've been with me since the beginning, then you will know this, that there have been several relapses in that time. But these are the 7, 8 things which kind of motivated me and got me through. So I thought I would share them. Hopefully it's been helpful. If not, then why are you still watching this video? You could have clicked off at any time. So yeah, if you want to share with me your motivational things down below, then please do. Yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say. Bye. Oh god, that was so awkward. Right, let's go. My motivations why can't I say that? I can't even speak English. Chest of drawers. Oh, this is so confusing. Chest of drawers is broken. You can't really tell that it's broken, so I need another one, and I've got another chest of drawers to go over here as well. Boring, pointless, you can't even see what's over here. It could be a demon clown. Beforehand, just as a little bit of prep for this video, so if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. A fly in my room.